What is happening, everyone? Welcome into another episode of TBQ Football. Today, I'm your host, David Gillespie. Joining me on the show, we got my guy, George Ruggiero. What are you looking at? What's up? What's so funny?
I'm sitting here typing in the private chat, letting you know something, and all I do is I peek over, and I see.
Do you need a better look?
I see Jeanette Garoppolo over there.
Goes by Jenny for short. And
yeah, Jenny from the block, Jeanette Garoppolo.
Jenny, do you got my number? You know, I mean, can I have your number or whatever the song goes? I just have one question to ask you about this picture, okay?
Yeah.
And that's simply and solely, would you?
I mean, let me get another good look.
Hang on.
Other way.
Yeah, let me.
The main reason I'm gonna go with a no on
would
this
you, George?
one. The reason I'm gonna go with a no on this one is we kind of look like we could be like related a little bit, and I don't. I do live in the South, and I understand that's a stereotype, so I'm just gonna nip that in the bud right there. You know,
that is by far not the answer I was expecting you were going to say. That was the absolute best answer you could have given.
Don't lie. It's not like super close related, but like first, second cousin, I could see it.
On, Tim?
I'm just not gonna.
Oh my
similar
God.
Hair color, eye color, skin tone. We're Italian. I'm not gonna risk it.
all George is seeing when he looks at that picture is this is goddamn Jenny Ruggiero the fourth, you know, like this is
like I said, not gonna not gonna risk it. No point, not worth it.
Oh my God. So we'll go with him pleading the fifth on that one, folks. No, I'm kidding. Folks, we got an exciting show in store for y'all today. I wish I could just do that with Nick, because Nick always motivates me with that one to, you know, snort the line and get right into it, just as we always do. So excited to have everyone in the chat. Looks like we got a few of the homies from Bloodline Entertainment Network, and these are the homies. Dylan, we got Dylan up in here. We got Justin, man. There's so many people up in here, up in this biatch, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy to see it. This network has been so kick-ass to us, and just the exposure we've been able to establish. With partnering with them and again, while they're helping us out, we want to help them out too. So it's a very mutually beneficial partnership. I'm hoping to bring to the table, because that's my goal, and that's, you know, I'd be undercutting this partnership.
Use your words.
Doing that. So I'm just I know it's one of those days.
Sorry.
I got so much on my plate in this next couple weeks. It's going to be absolutely fucking insane. But I'm excited though.
Good.
You know,
you should be. Based on what we were talking about backstage, good. You should be.
I know there's a level of pride that I think that people. Does anyone like being busy for the sake of just being busy? No one likes being busy. But when you're getting things in motion,
if it's productive, it's all about productivity.
If it's productive, and it's productive to your goals and to your happiness, and that's exactly what I'm alluding to. With just the business. So it's a good kind of busy, but you know what, folks, I can't ever shortcut y'all in terms of making time for the people, the community, you know, my disciples out there, if you will. No, I'm kidding.
Next thing we know, like, we're gonna see again, it's gonna be at David G Sports Pod. Underneath that, it's gonna be like your Lord and Savior, God King David, or something like that.
It's gonna be like CEO of Heaven's Gate or whatever fucking cults that they used to run. You know,
Amon Ross, Saint David.
That's good. That's good.
That's terrible.
No, that was a good one. That was a good one. Don't lie. That was a good one.
No, that's awful.
Nick, don't give me that. That was a good one.
That was awful. That's god awful.
Nick just rolling in here like. Oh,
I love
that does not come, buddy. That does not come through as well. I did.
What happened to? Okay, my fucking stupid ass soundboard acted up. It's not supposed to sound like that.
Hi, Nick.
Yo.
Oh my God.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I was.
I was thinking about my lineup. Oh my!
Save that for tomorrow, buddy. Like, come on.
Nope. I decided to wear it tonight.
Good to
If
see
people
you,
want to
Nick.
see a different shirt, they got to tune in tomorrow.
Good to see that manipulative ass face that we've just grown to.
You know I'm conniving.
I know that's your nickname.
Is that
like,
not?
Well, actually, my nickname is actually full of greatness, but we'll save that for another day.
Great. Now it's the both of yous. We're gonna have like God King David.
My fucking words. I am never calling you that.
Well, David's definitely not a god, though. Come on.
Well, no, he just made a he made a reference.
After the dance he did last year, he's definitely not one of those.
Okay, but I'm a prophet. Damn it! I listen.
You're a servant.
Oh, my bad.
You're a servant. All right?
My bad. It'll be
serve us.
Do you see this right here? Do you see this bottom tag?
I see this.
Mr. Translucent.
I
okay.
This,
oh my God.
I see one of these though. Yeah, I see one of these.
That's good. That's good. Is that the cookies and cream one?
It sure is.
There you go. That's
I've got my dessert right here.
And everyone else is full of greatness here.
Is that a Corona you're drinking?
No, sir. That's the champagne of beers, baby. That's
what
Miller
is it?
High Life.
Oh no, Miller High Life.
I forgot. Oh, I don't ever see them in bottles.
They're not
so
that
I wasn't
bad.
sure.
Like, if you guys want a full rating, be sure to shameless plug.
Plug in your channel. Seriously.
Yeah, go on over to GR4 Sports Bar on YouTube and TikTok. I gave this a 4.6 out of 10. It is very mid.
Yeah, that's less than mid. Fuck, that sucks.
No,
4.6 is really good. Out of 5?
4.6 out of 10?
Out of 10. Oh,
yeah. It is like
that's bad.
That's crappy.
For me, mid is like 4.5 to 5.5. That's like your like mid like C range. Like this could be a lot worse. I'm not drinking a PBR right now. Like, yeah, Nick, I saw that reaction. Like, yeah,
I guess I'm thinking more like scholastic grades. And like 50% in F,
Oh,
46% even lower. It's
mine's on a not so moving scale. It's it's not tens. It's not.
So
an
it's
ABC.
the Jay Cutler of beers, right?
Actually, where's Miller from? Isn't Miller from like Milwaukee?
Don't disrespect your boy like that.
Jay Cutler or Miller High Life?
That fucking guy, man. I mean, like my Twitter profile pic is what it. I think it. Did I keep it? I forget.
Isn't Jay
but
Cutler,
it was what?
Isn't Jay Cutler the Bears
franchise? What's he doing now? Selling cars?
Dude, I don't know.
No, he was. Probably... Never mind. He's getting alimony payments from a reality TV star.
Yeah.
Remember? No, he was married to. Yeah, he was married to Kristen Cavallari.
Wow.
No, he was.
Yeah.
He divorced her though.
Yeah, he
wow.
did. What a king.
Wow.
Church is like, yeah, he did.
He said, I'm not being on this terrible TV show anymore. You're gonna have to pay me.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. Can I just ask one question about Jay Cutler? Did he look like the kind of guy, because he loved smoking cigarettes? Or, I mean, at least the rumor has it. But didn't he look like the kind of guy that would just be smoking his cigarette on the sideline while his offensive coordinator is chewing him the fuck out? And then as soon as the offensive coordinator is done screaming at him, he takes one drag and then he puts the cigarette out on his fucking forehead. Like, doesn't he look like that kind of guy who would pull that kind of stunt,
I thought you were going to say, like, arguably just as disrespectful, takes one long drag, finishes the cigarette in that go, blows it in the dude's face, and then flicks the cigarette butt at him. That is disrespectful. Somehow
he's going to be burned on his fucking face by that cigarette. Like, Jay Cutler just doesn't give a fuck, He doesn't give a fuck, So,
disrespectful.
The NFL's Marlboro Man, he's certainly kind of played like fucking Marlboro Man in terms of conditioning sometimes.
Wow.
That's disrespect for the Marlboro Man. Come on.
I know, right?
Cowboy right there.
But no, I'm not going to acknowledge the son. I refuse to acknowledge because that's what it feels like to me.
You should ask Nick the question you asked me.
What do you
to start the show? The lead-off question about your background.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. I just have one question, Nick.
Okay.
Would you?
No.
Oh, come on. Come on.
No.
Show
Nick,
the lady
Nick, I
of
feel
the
like
night some respect.
Nick, I feel like your response. Keep in mind, our responses are the same. It's both no, but I think my reasoning is a little different.
It's different, yeah.
You know what? You know, as they say, folks, different strokes for different folks.
David, should I give Nick my reasoning for it when you first asked me that question?
Also, please, no one in the chat, please do not tag in Jimmy Garoppolo to this episode.
No, please do.
Don't do it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he'd be creeped the fuck out if I did.
Nick, the main reason I said no is I look at Jenica Garoppolo, Jeannie Garoppolo, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? Jenny, one of them. Yeah. All the same to me. Right in the face. And I go, you know what? There is just enough chance that we're related that I'm not going to take that risk. Look at the skin tone. Right, look at the hair color. Look at the eye color.
Yeah, it's those eyes and that eyebrows too. Those fucking eyebrows, man. You got Jenny eyebrows over here.
Just, she looks too much like Jenny, yo. In that picture.
See, but his name is Jimmy GQ for a reason.
I know.
He's not an ugly dude by any means.
But
and he's not too shabby of a woman either.
But she's not that great looking.
Jesus Christ, David.
No, she's not that great looking to me.
David,
it is David. Woman, I should say.
I guess we know what David's type is.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, absolute stone cold fucking tens. Okay,
David. For the record,
it is like 7.
It is 7:13.
If we ask her to rate her own self, and she couldn't name 7, she'd probably say 6.
What's up, Courtney? David, it is 7:13 p.m. It is way too early for this level of.
Yeah, it's never too early.
I will get out the. Actually, I don't even know if my
Courtney, what up? Yo?
I will.
Good to see you, Courtney. Good to see you in the chat, Courtney.
I will bonk you.
No Yankees talking here, though. Damn it.
Oh, bring on the Yankees talk, by the way. Please do.
Especially
Kim Kardashian.
No, she fucking one-ups that bitch too.
No, she doesn't. But
that is Courtney. That is your former quarterback as a queen herself.
This is Jimmy Garoppolo, you know. And I just want to confuse everyone, man or woman out there, by posting this picture and just asking them, "What do you think?" You know,
David, it's time. I've got to do it at least once for you.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Oh, it's not working. I didn't. Oh, I guess I turned it off.
Soundboards are acting a fool today.
Yeah, I know, right? My soundboard's acting up, and I don't love it.
Ooh.
It was going to be.
Sorry, that I just noticed too. We can now see if someone likes our fucking stream. And all that
I think
stuff
that's a
on
Facebook like. Yeah.
Oh, that's just with Facebook. Either way, that's really cool though. I love that.
That is pretty cool. No, it was the bonk sound effect of like the bonk. Yeah. For and that's used in specific circumstances. So I feel like that would have been appropriate.
Bing bong.
No, not that one. I can just do that one. Bing bong.
Just
Yankees
say that in the bedroom, like bing bong.
Yankees up 5-2, baby.
Such bullshit. Especially after today's loss to the Mariners. It was so lame as shit. Fucking bullpen. Step the shit up, please. Step the shit up for Boston. Come on.
Who? Oh, Boston lost to
the Red Sox. We lost to the Mariners.
The Mariners are good this year. Like, I don't want to hear any slander.
Kind of. They're not as good. I don't think they're as good, like, at this point in the season as last year, but they're still. No. I think they could still make an interesting run. I'm not going to count them out yet.
Yeah, I think they were in a weird spot at the deadline, and moving on from Paul Sewald was a little bit disappointing because he is their star closer. But I think Munoz is going to step in, do a job there. And as long as Munoz he's got the juice.
The most underrated pitcher in all of baseball, probably, at least as a reliever. Yeah, he's got the juice.
But we're gonna get into football instead of baseball. That's not for today. We can do that some other time.
No, but yeah, I'm just getting over it. But folks, like I said, we've got an exciting show in store for y'all today. Just bring in the energy, bring in the juice. All right, okay.
No, Nick. He already did it once.
Yeah, you know what?
You gotta do it again.
I should punish you for coming in late.
Show yet, did we?
I should have punished you for coming in late, but you know what? I'll do it just for you.
I don't want to hear about David's punishments. I don't like that.
Folks, we got an exciting show.
Yes.
We got an exciting show in store for
Gotta
you.
be the future. Gotta be the future. Gotta be an exciting show.
I did. I had the little energy.
Give me that.
And then I toned it down a little bit, I toned it down a little bit. We do have an exciting show. We're going to talk all things NFC North in this episode.
Oh, we're going to be talking about your boys.
Oh, it's going to get fucking wild in this bitch. Okay, I'll just
I
say that.
swear.
It's going to get wild.
Oh boy, here we go.
Me and Nick, we might never speak again after this episode.
Nick, I'm gonna send you my list on Twitter, and I really hope we have like the same one. Just because I hope David does something silly.
I'm gonna pull a George. What are we talking about?
I already know what we're talking about. I'm prepped, kind of. I did my prepping. Yeah.
Oh my god, we've got tardiness and we've got blissful ignorance.
Blissful is right.
Yeah, that's what I say.
I'm intrigued.
You're just the happiest guy to be like,
we'll
I don't know what we're fucking talking about, man.
We'll see.
But I'm just happy to be here.
I don't know. We'll see about your list, bro. I don't know. We'll see.
Tell me if I should flip flop the bottom two.
You probably should just because.
Just for fun.
Oh God,
You probably should just for entertainment value.
Don't you dare slight the great one, the chosen one in Justin.
No,
Fields,
wrong.
I just want to make sure there's
greatness is my word on this show, not yours.
Oh, yeah. Fucking bullshit. Yeah, absolute crock shit. But anyways, we're also talking. We're also talking Jonathan Taylor and Alvin Kamara. There is so much we've got to get into with Jonathan Taylor. Oh my God, what has happened in the last week or so? I mean, it's been absolutely bonkers, okay? Absolutely insane. And Alvin Kamara, he's meeting with the NFL Commissioner, Roger Goodell, today to try to plead his case and say, it's not what it looks like, even though everything was caught on fucking tape, Like,
I promise, I only fought that guy a little bit.
Yeah, it was my buddy who stomped him out. And did I brag about it afterwards? That was, caught on an Uber video cam? Like, yeah, but it's not what it looks like. It's like, come on, dude. Just fucking own up to it, okay? We're going to get into all of that and more. But before we do, we got to give a shout out to our sponsors. We got to give a shout out to Dubby, baby. For the next top-notch, delicious, and healthy energy drink, head on over to Dubby.gg and use that promo code TBQ to receive a 10% discount on your next purchase. They got a wide variety of energy drink flavors to choose from. Your boy's rocking that push and punch over here. Y'all want to see evidence to make sure I am not a fraud. I have it right here.
That sounds pretty fraudulent.
They've got a wide variety of flavors. They're sugar-free, calorie-free, energy. Excuse me, I totally fucked it up. Sugar-free, calorie-free, jitter-free, packed full of amino acids, packed full of neurofactor, packed full of vitamins, all to help you be energized and motivated throughout the day to get your tasks done that you have to worry about. So it's great stuff, man. If you want to get started, like I said, head on over to w.gg, use that promo code TBQ, and you get a 10% discount off on your next purchase, okay? And also, we're also sponsored by MojoDesk, okay, for an ergonomic, electric, and eco-friendly desk that is both adjustable and customizable. Head on over to mojodesk.com. Use that promo code TBQ for a 10% discount. They've got so many different designs, so many customizable designs. You can change different colors. You can get LED hand control setting added to it. It's height adjustable, like we said. It goes up to a complete full length range for whatever height you're standing at. If you're an absolute skyscraper of a human being, or if you're just a little miniature, a
little dude,
dwarf sized, little pal of out there, head on over to mojodesk.com, use that promo code TBQ, and you get a 10% discount off on your next purchase. So without further ado, folks, let's get right into this show. We're talking. Oh, excuse me. This is the what the hell? Oh my goodness! I guess I did not. I did not add in the question. I don't know why the questions aren't in there. I totally screwed up on this one, folks. Excuse me.
He done goof, folks.
I did done goof. That is my mistake.
You call yourself a king and god over here. God and kings don't make mistakes.
You know what? Touche, asshole. but no, folks, like I said, we're like, it's going to be, let me pull up my notes real quick. I don't know why this happened, but like I said, though, let's start off with the divisional talk, though. I want to see what your guys' standings look like for the NFC North. Let's start with everyone's number 4. Let's start with you, Nick. What's your number 4 in terms of who you see finishing off at the bottom of the division in the NFC North?
Yeah, I mean, look, it will be the Packers, and it's not exactly because they're not going to be bad. It's just more like the continuity I feel in this team is just obviously really young. You have Jordan Love coming in, starting as the quarterback, and we haven't really seen much of him yet. You got it. This kind of reminds me of the situation of like they had like where, again, you got the running game happening with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. Defense looks kind of like more middle of the pack, if anything else. So it becomes like a situation in which the Packers are just going to be a team. Maybe they'll win 6 games. 7 at the most, dare I say. I just don't see the elevation coming from this team at the current state. I like what they did in the draft. I think Jaden Reed is going to be a baller for this team. I think he could easily edge out Dobbs for a permanent spot in the offense. I think that Christian Watson. I mean, this guy was electric second half of this past season. Really like him for fantasy football as well. So I mean, I think the Packers have some good things going based on what they did, moving Aaron Rodgers and kind of starting fresh. It's just like another rookie-ish situation, just kind of similar to the Carolina Panthers. Only Carolina Panthers are a little bit more built to win now than the Packers are, and that's just where again, like these are some of the similarities I see because again, Jordan Love's basically like a rookie-ish, type of caliber of season upcoming. So I mean, I think Jordan Love can do some good things. I think he could definitely. I think the other day I looked at his touchdowns over unders, and I feel pretty confident about taking his over under for passing touchdowns. What was it again? Give me 1 second.
I was about to say, don't ask me. I do not know.
I don't know.
For
Jordan
Love. J Love.
Oh, for Jordan Love.
Yeah. I think it was 23.5
combined.
I think so. I gotta double check this.
I was about to say, because I don't 23.5 combined.
No. So 21.5. 21.5 passing touchdowns.
Okay,
so I feel good about that over. Sorry. By the way, that's DraftKings. Okay. So I feel good about that. Because the Packers are going to find themselves in situations where Jordan Love's going to have to throw the ball. I think he has some solid talent. I don't think the Packers made a mistake in drafting him. I just think it'll take a little bit of continuity for him to get going, and that's how it will be. So I think the Packers are definitely number 4 in this division. I mean, they could be number 3, but easily, like we could just slot these guys in S4 for now.
Okay, all right. I dig it. What about you, George?
As much as I want to do it just for the meme, just for the funsies, I'm not going to. I'm going to give you guys an actual, a real opinion on this. Yeah, I also have the Packers at number 4. The thing is, it's not just Jordan Love. If you look at it, if you just look at their quarterback depth chart in general, if you have the inopportune event that Jordan Love gets hurt, you've got Sean Clifford backing up. And David's looking at me like, oh, he's going to go in. And I don't have to. I mean, he was a 5th round pick.
I'm sitting down typing up the questions to get caught up because somehow they weren't posted. Terrible. And then the moment he mentions Sean Clifford, I just look, I'm like, oh no, like here's where we're going.
Sean Clifford is the quarterback version of Velus Jones. He's a rookie. He is 20. He's 25 and he just got drafted this year.
That's why you're saying that's true. Yes, that's true. I thought you meant in terms of skill set and he'd have more fumbles and touchdowns thrown or something like that.
No. I'm talking about he's older than me by a solid month and he just got drafted. I graduated college 3 years ago. Like, what are we doing? And plus, he wasn't great at Penn State, if you ask me. This team's going to end up definitely leaning very, very heavily on their run game with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, who I still love those guys. Those guys, I think, are still going to ball out. Their receiving core as well is very young and pretty thin, all things considered. Defensively, they lost a couple pieces. I still like their secondary overall. I mean, Jair Alexander is still that guy. But other than that, I mean, Lucas Van Ness is still fighting for a starting spot. I assume he's going to get his touches or his play this year. But I don't know. This is just a very weird roster right now. You've got a lot of young players in positions where you don't necessarily want to have a lot of young players. Your entire quarterback depth chart is young guys. Your entire wide receiver depth chart is young guys. You got a couple young guys on your offensive line as well. And then most of your defense are 10-year vets. Mm-hmm. And that's not exactly a formula for success in today's NFL. So we'll see. I don't really have a great prediction on how many wins they're going to have. Mm-hmm. Let me give a quick look. Yeah, I'd probably put them in the 6 to 8 range. Mm-hmm. In there, I'd say. I mean, there are a couple games where it wouldn't shock me if they lost, but if they won, I also wouldn't be like, oh, they shouldn't have won that game. But I think this is just a team in flux right now. There's a lot of changes happening. I think as long as you get some continuity with your quarterback and your coaching staff, mm-hmm. I think they're going to be, well set up for the future. But for this season, I don't see it.
Yeah, there's a lot to ask, I think, for the development of Jordan Love. Now listen, he has thrown a few passes in his day. Don't get me wrong. He's thrown, last year he threw 21 passes, I believe, throughout the season.
That's still not 21 a ton though.
Yeah, that's not a ton, but at least he has a sample size of
he's been in games.
Something to show. It's not like he's just a brand spanking new, straight up coming out of the womb to ready to fucking throw the football and save a franchise, So I think there's some concern about that, and Adam Stenavich didn't exactly yield the greatest out of Aaron Rodgers last year. Aaron Rodgers kind of had to step back. Now, I think that was in part because of the rookie wide receivers that he was developing. This was a receiving core that led the league in drops last year. So there's some things to take into account for growth and maturity and things of that nature that may come into play this year for why they may end up being better than they were last year. Because last year, let's face it, Packers were a disappointment. I thought the Packers were destined to make the playoffs last year, even with the rookies. Maybe it wouldn't be as pretty as it was the previous couple of years where they were winning 13-plus games, but they would still nonetheless be producing at a level that was good enough to play to make it to the playoffs. This year, though, it feels so fucking great to say this. I am so down on the Packers. I'm tired of seeing them win, but it's justified in me feeling this way. And I'm going to tell you why, okay?
No.
I'm a little nervous
Not
about
allowed.
Jordan Love this year. Listen, it's fucking title time. They haven't won. They won one title in the last damn near 30 years. Come on. There's so many growing pains, I think, for him to rectify with his receiving core. He doesn't have much escapability. His downfield passing leaves a lot to be desired, in my opinion. Okay, and even on top of that, okay. The question marks with the offensive line that's injury prone. The right side of the offensive line especially is something I'm curious about in terms of not necessarily, for one thing, just staying healthy, but on top of that, just playing at a level that's equivalent to that of the left side, where you've got Elgton Jenkins, where you've got David Bakhtiari, 2 Pro Bowl caliber bookend offensive linemen. They did go after some tight end help this offseason. They got in Luke Musgrave. They brought in Tucker Kraft. So I will acknowledge that they got some athleticism coming to them. But Luke Musgrave was the most injury-prone the most injury-prone tight end in the entire draft this year, okay? I don't exactly see that as the utmost promising situation, to just say, oh, I'm sold on the Packers winning the division this year, right? I'm sold on them going to the playoffs, Even last year, from the offensive line standpoint, he only had 2.28 seconds to throw, 2.28 seconds to throw in the pocket, which was the 7th shortest time length out of any quarterback in the NFL who had any snap, I believe. So or at least 20% of the snap share. I believe at the very least out of everyone in the NFL that threw a pass. So it's not good. It's really not the most promising for him system wise on the offense. And defensively, they have an abundance of talent. Okay. But they can be very hot and cold. This is a defense that wasn't exactly spectacular last year. Last year they ended up finishing 17th in the league in points allowed per game. Finishing 26th in yards allowed rushing wise too. A lot of talent in that secondary with Rasul Douglas. Eric Stokes could be someone that could be good. That could be an up and coming star sooner rather than later. We all know how good Jair Alexander is. He's an absolute bona fide elite corner. But there's a lot of hot and cold that we see from the Stephens, even from elite guys like Jair Alexander and good Pro Bowl caliber guys like.
They weren't good against the run last year either.
That's what I said. Yeah, they allowed they were 26th in yards allowed from the ground game. So it's been a major struggle for them. And it looks like George is going to be back in a little bit. He's back. He's back.
Doing some things.
Yeah. And I'm a little bit nervous about this defense. I really am. I think there's just a lot of question marks at every level, man. Just even little things like I like Rasul Douglas, but man, in zone coverage, she leaves a lot to be desired, and especially when this is a defense that plays a lot of zone, like they play a lot of cover 6, they play some cover 2 zone. I just don't know if this is going to be the promising year for the Packers with just so many question marks. The one thing I feel very, very comfortable about, the one thing I will say is I think Jair Alexander's going to have a good year, and I think the ground game is going to be spectacular. I think that is for real. That has always been for real. I don't see Aaron Jones slowing down anytime soon. I consider him elite running back in this league.
He's crazy.
I just what is she saying in this chat? On George of the Jungle. He certainly is one hairy mofo like George of the Jungle. Did you call me a baby, by the way? My baby. Fucking insults in here, man. Jesus. So mean in this chat. Like I said, where are my disciples when I need them? The people that will.
You don't have any.
Defend me. I do. Okay.
You have
That's what I'm. Yes, absolutely.
Like good life lessons. You expect him?
I don't know if I want him as a disciple.
Ever heard of you? Like,
he's more like a rogue disciple.
Well, it could be a girl. Who knows? Like.
Oh man, but that's my goal. See, that's my goal with this podcast. We're not just trying to create a podcast here, folks. We're trying to create a cult here. Okay, we're trying to get a following.
Well, not my words.
Did I just hear something about a cult?
That's where we're going. It's the TBQ.
David watched that recent documentary on how to be a cult leader.
It's the TBQ and all. No, I'm kidding.
Don't come on.
I'm kidding.
The only thing we don't spread is misinformation.
Yeah, David.
I know. But if we did have a cult, wouldn't that have a good ring to it? That name? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, his director.
George. Yeah, George's a baby. We know that.
Oh, absolutely. He's the baby of the show.
For
sure.
David definitely falls in the category too, though.
I won't take at least I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Deuces, bitch. No, I'm kidding.
You gotta kick the star out the show.
You're dealing with the head honcho over here, okay?
Yeah. As a guy that forgot to set up the show. Interesting.
Just the questions. Everything else is set up, but yeah, I done goofed with the questions.
Yeah,
man.
just
unforgivable, unforgivable, but irreplaceable. So, anyways, getting back to the Packers final record prediction. I'm going to be generous with them. I think this is being generous with them. They're going to top out at 7-10. They're going to top out. They're still going to double-digit losses. They're going to top out though at 7-10. I see more so probably 6-11. 6-11 is my prediction. I like Matt LaFleur. I think he's a great coach, but I just didn't think they needed to run out Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I get kind of it because he was kind of he could be a little bit of a diva sometimes. I get it. But I just don't know if I don't know. I didn't think Jordan Love was the guy they should have focused on to begin with. Okay. I didn't think that is the guy you should segue to under Aaron Rodgers. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. It's not that I don't think Jordan Love can be good in this league. I do believe so. Just
because it's you saying it, now he's going to absolutely cook and they're going to have double-digit wins.
I I know. I'm fucking terrified of it now. I'm sweating bullets as we speak. Now you said that.
You've just spoken into existence.
You kind of did, didn't you? I think you're gonna do it just because you're a Bears fan.
No, but I think Jordan Love could be like more promising, maybe with a bridge quarterback than like an Aaron Rodgers who just started all games. You know, or you ease him into the situation. You know, kind of like like they did with Justin Fields with Andy Dalton. You know, I know we're still working on Justin Fields and all that, and he's a bit of a project right now, but more so along the lines of that is what I'm getting to. Who's your number 3, Nick?
Hot take alert.
Oh, please don't.
Hot take alert.
What do you got?
Hot take alert. Hot take alert. Vikings.
Okay. I dig it. I like it. So far, we're 2 for 2, baby. 2 for 2.
It's more just, you had a team that was just the luckiest in the league last year when it came to, one score differentials. They end up finishing record wise. Like they end up winning 13 regular season games, and 11 of those games were won by 3-point differentials, the most in history in a season.
Yeah.
It was kind of crazy, to be honest. Some of these games you would watch and you're like, these are cardiac kids. Mm-hmm. And again, like defensively, this team, I don't know, man. Like I like Daniel Hunter, but he's talking about they already have troubles with the contract right now. You got Brian Flores in, which should hopefully turn this unit around in general from being 31st in the league last year. I don't know how much they improved though. And who's starting in this secondary?
I know, right? That's what I was thinking.
Who's starting in the secondary besides Harrison Smith and they signed Byron Murphy. But who else is starting in this secondary unit? Like it's baffling. Yeah, we could talk about the offense, talk about Kirk Cousins, talk about Hawkinson, we could talk about obviously Jet, we could talk about these other guys. But obviously, like, I'm just not buying it. I think this team was too lucky last year, and I'm just I'm seeing them maybe win 8-9 games and just barely missing the playoffs. I don't think they are division winners again, though.
No.
I just think ultimately, like, this team, like I said, they lose based on their defense. As it was constantly last year, if it weren't for some timely, some good plays. I just feel like it was good fortune for them last year. Yeah. Because obviously they lost to a Giants team that ultimately, like, I think had their number in general. Yeah. I just think there was, you look back at that playoff game and the Vikings should have won that game in my opinion. But ultimately the Giants made some great plays and they ultimately put Cousins in a situation where I know because I watched a documentary on Netflix in that last drive. It's like you force Cousins into a situation that you don't want to be into, and that's what you do when it comes to playoff time. But that also comes down to games in which you are trying to win at the last second, which they did a lot of last year, like I said. But ultimately, like again, like I feel it's gonna be the opposite this year. It's gonna be the defense gonna kind of just let up too many plays. And the offense may not be able to come through like they was. You don't have Dalvin Cook. You have Alexander Madison back there, and who knows how good of a running back he could really be. They say he's going to be used as a 3-down workhorse. I don't buy that. I think he'll eventually be, he'll play some third downs, but I don't think he's going to play them all. I think Addison will be nice. It's a good addition.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's enough. I think offensive line wasn't bad last year.
No, it wasn't bad.
It was pretty modest, but again, like there's not a unit that's going to win in the trenches constantly. So these things added up for me is why I have the Vikings finishing third in the division. Ultimately, they could fight for a playoff spot, but it's more of I'm just not impressed with what they added for defense. Like I said, the secondary is like, I'll be honest, like the secondary is like bread and butter position. Like you have to have that now in today's NFL. At least have a really solid unit in order to do good things later on for the rest of the season. And obviously you got to win the trenches. And these are spots that they're just not great in at the moment.
No, absolutely. You hit the nail right on the head. It was a great take, Nick. I fully echo that 100%. What have you got, George?
My number 3, this one might be not as surprising. Probably not. I still don't have the Bears are still my number 3. I think they're a lot. I do think they're a lot better than the Packers, but I just don't see all the puzzle pieces clicking into place just yet.
Just kicking my ego right in the fucking nuts right now, man.
I am still not sold on Eberflus. I think that's fair enough to say. I do love Fields. I really, really like Fields, and I like what he's able to do. I mean, the pair of running backs that you guys are rolling out between Herbert and Foreman, I mean, they're fine. I don't love them. I'm not in love with any of them. I love the addition of DJ Moore, by the way. I like DJ Moore's a stud.
Yeah.
He's going to
because we don't have a top 10 caliber running back. Where not sold on the run game.
Where did the Bears finish?
Record-wise.
Let's take a look. Let's see. Win.
See
what I have to deal with, Courtney.
Lost.
Just incessant suffering.
See, I'm not doing it tonight. It's normally me.
I know. You like pass the baton, and you're like, you know what? It's time for the next. It's time for the protege to
take over today.
Well,
put him in the dirt.
I probably give them, I mean, definitely more than the Packers. I gave the Packers like 6 to 8 in that range. I'm giving the Bears probably like 7 to 10 in that range.
Okay, I'll take that.
I'm looking at their schedule. I mean,
I'm only hearing the peak of that when you said 10, so I'll take that.
But I still kind of have that as third. I mean, I do like, by the way, Nick, I was about to say, I agree with everything you said, but I might just be a bit higher on the Vikings offense.
Okay.
I really like the additions, but I 100% agree with what they did defensively. So many question marks. That said, Flores should, like, schematically, really be able to get a lot more out of those players than
I just had a hard time.
The last couple of years.
I just have a hard time. I just a hard time when it comes to like
the personnel's not there. You're
but
right.
Yeah, when you're a first year defensive coordinator, and I think that's going to be the same situation with Wilkes in Denver. Although it's a totally different situation.
Very
than it is in Minnesota, where it's like the pieces for Wilkes in Denver is going to be completely it's a more of a way upgrade than it is in Minnesota. So it's kind of like, again, like you're bringing your own system in, plus you don't may or may not have all the personnel needed to really thrive in the situation for year 1. Year 2, we'll see. But I mean, for this upcoming year, I think you're going from 31st and realistically to what, 22nd, 23rd in the league. You go higher than that. Like if they end up being the 17th or 18th defensive unit out of all the NFL, I think that we could talk about something about the Vikings being up to par to what they were. But to realistically, no, like it just doesn't.
We're gonna get a little bit deeper into like how I'm kind of projecting the Vikings going into next season when I talk about them. But when it comes to the Bears right now, their offensive line is solid. Like they've got some pieces on the O line. I love it. I don't. My thing is with the wide receiving core is I like Moore. Like I really like Moore. I'm okay with Mooney. I don't like Claypool. I don't really like the rest of them. Really. I mean, there's just so little depth there. I like Komet. Tanyan's fine. And then defensively, you've got some studs. You've got some good pieces on the defensive side. But, I mean, just overall, it's pretty shallow still. I'll say that. For me, it's a little bit too shallow.
Yeah.
And I'm still not 100% sold. And part of this, too, comes down to coaching. Why I have the Vikings. To me, the two middle teams are the ones that are really close in this division for me. I have more faith right now in Kevin O'Connell than I do with Eberflus. And I feel like that's a fair enough, point to make just based on last season where they were both rookie head coaches.
So do you think this offense is going to see an uptick in production this upcoming season compared to last year?
I don't see how it doesn't. I mean, just based on the
with Dalvin Cook being gone, though,
I'm talking about the Bears.
Or I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know I was jumping the gun. I'm sorry. Excuse me. I was jumping the gun for this.
Yeah,
we saw.
No, but with the Bears, but you do see it. No, you're high on DJ Moore. I know you said that, and you said,
and I think
Justin
Fields is going to improve. The offensive line is just as good, if not a little bit better. It's more of I like a lot of the individuals. I'm not sure how they'll work as a unit.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. There's a lot of question marks defensively, namely, especially in their defensive line. God damn.
The front.
I mean,
the
Jesus
front.
Christ.
Yeah, the front seven. Maron. I mean, come on, get it together, guys. Like,
yeah, it's pretty ugly.
It's pretty I don't know. It'll
7
be
to 10 wins though, right?
Yeah, that's where I probably put them, and I'll say that's probably around the same that I have Minnesota as well.
Okay.
Like for me, whereas with the other couple divisions, it was 1 and 2 that had pretty fine margins. For this division, I think I've got the middle two as kind of your fine margin where you could very easily flip them.
Okay.
But I think my number one team in this kind of runs away with it a little bit.
My number 3 are the Vikings. I think they're a mess in the ground game right now. I like Alex Madison's athleticism, so I'm not trying to shit on him as a player and his potential. He does have some potential, but
you think he's like Dalvin Cook?
He's not better than Dalvin Cook. Hell no. Fuck no. Okay, not in
Nick, you had to, didn't you?
In every other fucking universe, I will double down on that take. Okay?
I had to. He had to. I'm sorry.
I think anyone would, but okay, go ahead.
I know, and I just want to make sure I sear it into your brain that I will never stand off my ground.
You're just too stubborn sometimes. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. Continue.
I refuse to be brainwashed. Okay.
What are you talking about?
Will salvage me if I am. Okay.
I'm gonna subliminally message you with my mind right now.
Exactly. Come on, TBQ on, save your boy. No, I'm kidding.
No one's saving you, bro. you don't have a following like me.
Listen. They're out there. Okay, they're listening.
New people
somewhere in their basements, right?
Both of yous are
that's where they're fucking. Hey, I'll get them wherever I can get them. Okay.
Anyone? Jesus, you want anyone to be your fan? Good Lord.
Vikings are a mess.
I have a criteria.
Their defense,
you've got standards.
Their defense is a colossal fucking mess, even more than the run game. Okay, albeit they did retain Danielle Hunter, so they did one thing right this offseason. Okay, because that looked like it was a bit worrisome about whether or not he was going to stay in Minnesota. He wanted a new deal, but they came to common ground, and he's retained. So which is great. I love Danielle Hunter. I think he's an absolute fucking monster, man. He's so good. I mean, he's so unbelievably good. This is the lone elite force, though, that they have on the defense side of the ball, especially since they let go of Darius Smith, But as great as he is, this is a guy who's accumulated 55 or more tackles in 4 of the last 6 seasons. One of which he missed 9 games in. So, take that into account for why he didn't have elite level production back in 2021. This is a guy with 10 plus sacks. In 10.5 plus sacks in each of in 4 of those last 6 seasons too. So he's an elite force. He's an elite dominant pass rusher that can do so many special things. He's even flexible enough to drop in coverage too, which is impressive. So but I don't think he can hold it down. I think you brought up a great point about the Vikings secondary, man. They run a lot. Brian Flores loves to run man coverage a lot. So a lot of cover 1 and a lot of cover 0.
Yes, he does.
Who the fuck is going to play in man coverage in the secondary?
My exact point.
There's no one. There's fucking no one. Okay.
Me.
I
will.
Man,
I'll do it.
But that's what I was saying before about schematically and the players that kind of fit this. Like, we all know he loves to play man on man, like island on island style. And it's like, look, with the corners you have right now, unless we're supposed to see a big time progression from some of these corners, like
it's so ugly. It's so ugly. It's so bad that like
$3.
it's so bad that like, listen, okay. I'm not saying that George Ruggiero is on the level of any of these guys in their secondary, but why not sign him to a deal in case everyone gets annihilated somehow accidentally? Okay. They all get annihilated, and you put in George Ruggiero. You just see how he does, and if he can hold it down,
Boy,
I can
get
run
murdered
back
out there. But hey,
I can run backwards pretty good. I'll be honest.
Oh man,
Hey,
I would love to see that. I'd pay to see that. Hey Nick, we'd love to see that. What we'd love to see that? Come on,
would y'all pay for that?
I would absolutely favor. I'd play a first class ticket for that. Okay, to see George out there trying to line up against TJ Hawkinson.
I wouldn't have to. I'd be playing for the Vikings, silly.
No, in practice, in training.
Oh, that's fine.
You know?
I don't
full pads. You know,
that's fine.
Okay, fine. We'll put on a Bears jersey or on a Packers jersey, and then we'll see how it goes.
I don't think you want me playing for the Bears. I'll be honest.
Yeah, no, I don't want you. Yeah, that would be. We're already as shitty as it is. You know? And I'm not dissing George because George has never played any football. So, like, you know,
I played like a little bit, not like before high school.
Yeah, not a level football. You know, neither of us. Neither of us. But you know, I don't think there's. I'm sorry. Like, I know they brought in Byron Murphy, but they let go of Patrick Peterson. And is Patrick Peterson getting old? Yes. But he was playing at an incredible level last year, an incredible, sensational Pro Bowl caliber level. No, he was a Pro Bowler last year. He was holding guys.
That's something these days.
You know what I mean, okay? You know what I mean with that. Harrison Smith, though, he's getting old. I love Harrison Smith, but he's getting up there in age.
35.
Yeah, he's 30. I think he's 34.
So was Patrick Peterson. He was looking a little dusty.
Patrick Peterson was like 32, right?
I think he's your age, Nick. I want to say he's your age, you know, which is old, but you know.
Damn.
Fair enough.
We're
I look good for my age, so it's all good.
We're just taking shots at each other tonight, aren't we?
You sure are. Okay. I wear it well.
I will say I did not expect you to be how old you were. I thought you were younger. I thought you were like my age or George's age potentially.
I know.
So I was like, God damn it. Does that mean he has seniority over me? Like,
I do. Get to work, motherfucker.
Yeah, make sure you got the questions up next time.
Where's my ice cream sandwiches?
Yeah.
Where's my ice cream sandwich? There you go.
That's how you do
much
it.
Better.
You got to get the fucking, you know, the weapon, the fucking whip or whatever, and then just, you know, just give them the business. Damn it, they got to get those fucking ice cream sandwiches. Out,
yo. I gotta pay my people, but
no comment.
What?
I'm telling you to do it. I didn't say I would do it.
Oh, I thought you were good. No.
No. I'm basically. This is so bad. Okay. If there was one episode to get us canceled,
and we're going off the rails.
Okay. Courtney, I'm 29. 29 years young. Emphasis on the young. And
if you have to make that emphasis, I think that tells you something.
You know, I'm in denial, and I will never
clearly
get out of this mind of being in denial because it's a beauty, man. It's a beautiful brainwash.
Or delusional.
There never was one.
And you're the one calling me ignorant or blissfully ignorant. Yeah,
I know.
Let's roll with that.
Takes one to know one. That's how I see it. So yeah, no, I mean, Mekhi Blackman, just maybe Andrew Booth Jr. He was special talent coming out of Clemson, but I think he was a very unproven talent. He was a project of a talent. So special athleticism, but skill set, you know, in terms of executing skill set on the football field at a meticulous level, I think there's still a little bit of stuff to air out to kind of rectify for him to get at a top-notch starting level, because he's not even starting right now. He's listed behind Mekhi Blackman, you know, and then Cameron Bynum and Caleb Evans. I loved Byron Murphy Jr. coming out of UW. This guy was so good as a corner. He was taking over games for UW. He single-handedly won them the fucking Pac-12 championship in 2018 that led them to the fucking Rose Bowl berth, okay? That is how special of an athlete Byron Murphy is. But Byron Murphy Jr. is not at that same level of execution on the NFL level. I'm not saying he's bad. He's just very kind of average to above average, best case scenario. So that's why I'm sorry to say it, but he is kind of mid. Vikings, though, the offense, though, I love their offense. Okay. I don't love their offensive line, but I love their tackle duo with Brian O'Neill and Christian Darrisaw. Spectacular offensive tackle duo, honestly. I got to get Brian O'Neill, of course, healthy first for one thing, but I believe they will, and it'll be smooth sailing on that end. Kirk was good last year, but he didn't play like the MVP candidate I thought he had the potential of playing like. You look at him in 2021, he actually played better in 2021 when they missed the playoffs than when they went to the playoffs this past year, As you can see by the interceptions doubling to 14 this past year, sub 30 touchdown season. He's still 29, so it's a good year, but not as good as that 2021 season. He struggled in man coverage. He struggled under pressure, threw a lot of INTs that were just overshooting his receiver. You saw some of those highlights watching the quarterback documentary, on Netflix. And he owns up to it, and he's a good quarterback. I just don't think he's great enough to where you could just make up for a bad defense and a questionable run game. Okay, that's how I see him in that regard.
I just don't see it. I just don't see lightning striking the bottle.
No, and they lost a lot of guys. Like I said, with Peterson, with Eric Kendricks being gone, Zadarius Smith and Dalvin Cook, it's just too much. Vikings. I'm gonna go 8-9, 9-8 tops.
University, what up, Pod? Yo, yeah. What up?
Hey,
put some ones up, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Another Bloodline Entertainment family member right here. It's good to see y'all. Who's our number 2? Let's start with you, Nick.
Perfect. So I get your Bears.
Yes.
Bears will finish second in the division, in my opinion.
I prefer number 1, but I'll take it.
Yeah, you should just sit back.
Yeah, I was going to say, settle down. Come on, be respectful here. Come on.
I think the Bears will ultimately fight for a playoff spot. And it's just because I like what the unit the team has done. Although I know you're not like happy with what they've all did, but I like what the Bears did. I think when you get a guy when you gave away the capital to get DJ Moore, which was a solid get, to bring it. The reason why that's such a big move, I don't think people are giving enough credit for. You do that move because you want to surround your quarterback with weapons. You want to start getting your franchise guy some pieces that he could actually move around with on the field instead of giving him garbage third-string receivers to play with. So I like the addition of DJ Moore. It gives you Darnell Mooney, it gives you Cole Kmet, which I still think he could be a really effective tight end in this offense.
Okay.
The offensive line, grabbing Darnell Wright in this offense, although you didn't think it was a great move, I thought it was a solid get.
It's not that I didn't like him. It's just that he was not higher compared to certain other offensive linemen. So I think he's a good offensive lineman. He's not a great prospect.
Sometimes it's not always about that. Sometimes it's about getting the guy you think is going to fit the best for your scheme.
But what about Mitch Trubisky?
Hey, that's you.
You didn't like Mr. Mitchell? Come on now.
That's you and your history, all right? We're talking about just the current draft of the Bears. We're not going back years and mistakes because you guys have made those too. But that being said, I like the Roshan Johnson pick as well. I think this running back situation is going to be muddy all season long. But I do like them bringing Deontay Foreman as well because I think Deontay Foreman could be a great safety running back if something were to happen to Herbert again. I think Foreman really proved that he was really awesome last year when he had a solid offensive line. Like there were times where he ran over 100 yards in some of these games last year with the Carolina Panthers previously. So I like to get at that and bring them in. I think this offense has some pieces to play with. I think the X factor really will be Claypool because you brought Claypool in, betting on his talent. So far, it hasn't been a great marriage. But if Claypool doesn't get it together here with the Bears, forget about his career. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because again,
this could be his last ditch effort to save his career.
Because otherwise, you just become another big for nothing receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think Claypool, like I said, will be the difference maker for this offense because I think he can open things up and then be a guy that can win downfield and really use his talents. I think if Fields can get him the ball constantly, I think Claypool just has to prove that he can play. And I think he can play. It's just more like he just has to be somewhat consistent. And he doesn't have to be the number 1 or number 2. He can be the number 3 in this 3 option in this offense. I think that's something that I look at with the Bears where they have to have him be effective. I like the Tyler Scott kid as well. They drafted. I think I like him as a receiver for this offense, fitting in later in the year once he learns the concepts. I think he'll be a guy that can definitely – you can play in the slot, can really be effective as well. Defensively, love the secondary here for the Bears. I think that's something that we keep our eye on. A young secondary, but really proved they could play last year, which is really good. Front seven will be interesting because you brought in guys from free agency, Tremont Edwards, Jesus,
Tremaine Edmonds.
Yeah, whatever. It's late.
Thinking of TJ Edwards though from the Eagles. Yeah.
Yep, TJ Edwards. So I mean, you're bringing in guys to piece together his defense, which I think is really nice as well. So I like the things that the Bears have done to get themselves in a position to at least, bring the fight this season. So who knows where they end up, obviously, but I think they're a solid team to fight in this division that is definitely up for grabs.
Okay. I dig it. Yeah, and I think with Claypool, like the thing with Claypool that you brought up, I thought was interesting. It's not even just because you can suck, which Claypool clearly fucking has over the last couple of seasons. But if you have solid work ethic, that can convince guys to give you another shot to get back to your glory days, because it wasn't that long ago that Claypool was an asset to the Pittsburgh Steelers team, to their offense. But he fell off ridiculously hardcore. And then on top of that, going to the season, of course, he's still under contract. He had that report come out about his work ethic being questionable. That's the kind of shit that especially will kill your career if you're also in tandem with that, not playing at a good level. Okay. So that really fucks you up big time, And am I stuck in the 80s, Courtney? You goddamn right I am, I'm bumping that Michael Jackson, Duran all fucking day. Okay.
Wait, you said you're
Tell him to cut his hair.
29. How? You weren't even alive.
Am I 29? No, I'm kidding. I am 29. No, I just have young looking genes, No, I watched so much. I feel like I lived in the 80s watching so much on the Chicago Bears in the 1980s and learning so much about Walter Payton and Mike Singletary, Jim McMahon, Richard Dent, all those legends, So it's almost
is that because reality and current day was just kind of sad?
You goddamn right it is. Yeah. Because being a Bears fan, I can only put up so much before I'm just someone put me out of my fucking misery, Just drop the newts and let's get it. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
Wow. I'm kidding.
Well then.
Just a joke here. Just a joke.
That's how it always starts.
Moving swiftly onwards away from talk of
moving worlds away from that.
Let's.
I'm kidding.
Full attention, not there.
No, number 2 on my list are the Chicago Bears. If this defense plays well, meaning I think top 16 to top 12, this team I believe will be a playoff team. Okay, but I think that's a lot to ask for right now, because I talked about that defensive line. Justin Jones, DeMarcus Walker, Travis Gibson. There's just not a lot to love about this defense. Kyrus Tonga. I'm sorry. I don't love this defense line. I really don't. The one lone bright spot that I think could be interesting, could be a legitimate asset starting.
Critical on his Bears, folks.
In year one. I have to be. I got to be a realist here, I got to have some sense of logic. Everything else, I'll be an absolute batshit insane person on. But, this
You're not that already?
Oh, no, I know I am. It's going to be a straight jacket.
We always say, this whole show right now, it's just therapy for him.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just it's a double therapy session. That we go through. Every week. I think this team is honestly it's hinged upon a lot of it, the offense getting things going. That's what the expectation is. We want to get this offense to another level this year. That is really, if we get that, goal achieved. I'm not expecting anything lofty. I don't even think we're going to make the playoffs this year. I think we'll be barely on the outside looking in. Okay. I think we'll probably peak out at 9 to 10 wins, but miss the playoffs because of the tough NFC East. And then you've got the 2 teams in the NFC West too. But Gervon Dexter in that defensive line, I do like this guy's athleticism. He's a great run stopper. So I do kind of dig his selection coming out of Florida. He's a big physical freak of a defensive line. It's like Sasquatch out there, man. He's just colossally huge human being, and he will stuff the shit out of the run. Okay. He will absolutely fuck it up. And I love that because we sucked ass at stopping the run last year. We absolutely were dead last in stopping the run. We were number 1 in rushing offensively and number 32nd in stopping the run last year. He will be an asset right from the get-go. I loved getting TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. Tremaine Edmonds coming off his best year of his career with the Buffalo Bills. Can play in coverage. Is an elite run stopper. TJ Edwards, the same with him, especially too, Edmonds, I think you can even do some interesting things too. Furthermore, like as potentially as a pass rusher, kind of similar to a Roquan Smith, where he could occasionally, never fucking happening, absolutely never, ever, ever, ever happening. Listen, this is staying. This is the Maine of America. Okay, this is the Maine of America. Okay,
I find it really funny.
Courtney said to cut the hair.
I find it very that's part of it. I find it really funny that even other people are catching on to David's long hair and how much we talk about it, and no one is like, George, you need to cut your hair.
Well, your hair is kind of like, it's like long, but it's long like in the top. Like mine's just like, it's pointy in the back.
Not short in the back. Like it's like it touches the collar. It gets down to the collar.
You do have some. I saw you. I thought there was a homeless guy trying to get into our show last week. Because I could not recognize George when he came out of it. The coincidence, he also hopped on the stream or hopped in the backstage right after he came out of the shower. So his hair was like really wet. We saw his chest pubes and all that.
Whoa.
That's what they call them. Chest pubes.
That is not what they call them.
Just chest hair.
Just chest hair.
No. I'm quoting Step Brothers. He used to call it in Step Brothers chest pubes. No, but it did show us his chest hair, which was interesting, But I have to ask, like I said, okay, did you message her to cut the hair?
No.
Are you messaging these guys?
None of us did. No. We are actively not doing this. They're just learning.
I don't
and
believe
Good Life Lessons. Look,
okay?
Good Life Lessons.
Listen,
now you
could
do it.
You could put me in a fucking coma, and I will still be dodging it left and right. Okay, you will not be able to cut my hair. Okay,
time out. George, we don't want to see your chest hairs. And David,
what's that?
You need to settle down.
Settle down.
What's that?
And cut the hair.
Never happening. Never. Absolutely never happening.
Even Good Life.
Not even in coma. Not even in coma. Well, come on. This guy was like, hey, let's bring back the Redskins,
Did you see that by the way?
Remember that petition?
Fucking topic right now, ain't it?
Well, didn't you? Who was the one that posted that petition in the chat that like someone wanted to get the?
It was Nick.
I did.
Nick sent that.
I think we know the culprit.
Full of greatness.
No. And Good Life Lessons.
Nah, probably. Come on. Really?
I think it was him.
That's sick.
I think it was him.
How are you gonna out your number one?
Prove me wrong.
Like that? How you gonna out your number one fan like that?
Look, all I'm saying is I've never seen Good Life Lessons and whoever made that poll or that petition in the same room. Just saying. Mostly because I've never met either of them.
That's true. Touche. No, but I think this defense will be interesting. I mean, they run a lot of cover 2 and a lot of cover 3 defensively. The secondary will be really good this year. I think Jaquan Brisker is going to be really nice. Jalen Johnson. I have high hopes for Kyler Gordon, even though supposedly he was getting cooked in practice by like Tyler Scott. So we'll see how this goes. Or as a rookie out of Cincinnati, I still think he will be good this year. I still think he will be good this year. I love what the offense did. The O-line did, getting Tevin Jenkins, Braxton Jones, Nate Davis, Darnell Wright. These are all guys that will be pivotal pieces. Getting Nate Davis and Darnell Wright to tandem up with Tevin Jenkins and Braxton Jones, who are already there, of course, and already showcased that they have a tremendous amount of talent. Tevin Jenkins even playing at a Pro Bowl caliber level as a run blocker, as a run protector, man. Honestly, so thoroughly impressed with his evolution as a player. I think our O-line is going to be absolutely legit, and this is going to help Justin Fields, okay? Because here's the thing with Justin Fields. Second half of the season, 12 touchdowns to 5 interceptions, 63% completion. This is in the final 8 games of the season that he played. This was after 55% completion and more TDs to interceptions thrown in the first 7 games that he played with 5 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. So I think this is where we start to see some improvement. I think the second half was an indicator that he's due for next level leap. Even the monstrous rushing too came in the second half of the season. It didn't really start the next level monstrous running until that Miami game. Where he probably wouldn't have rushed for 1,000 yards. In terms of the pace that he was on, had it not been for that second half explosion. But I think he's going to be a stud. I think he's going to be a lot more decisive downfield. He struggled as a downfield passer last year. Now, was it in part because he didn't have weapons? Yes, absolutely. But there are times where there were windows that were open as a downfield passer last year. Now, and I hear an echo of myself. And he struggled as a downfield passer even when windows were open for him. I think this will change this year because, like what we saw with Jalen Hurts last year, jumping that and maintain that next level leap from year 2 to year 3, we're going to see the same thing with Justin Fields this upcoming season. Okay, I'm not going to be as crazy about the level of production, improvement to where it's going to be like MVP caliber, but I'll say this: I think 4,000 yards is entirely possible, and I think 27 touchdowns is possible this year. I'm going to say sub 30. I'm also kind of answering our next question that we got coming up. So spoiler alert.
Yeah. What the heck are you doing?
Well, I'm kind of answering it. We'll see. 4,000 yards and 27 touchdowns is what I see this upcoming season.
Sick.
So he's going to do some great things. The chemistry he's going to establish with DJ Moore, who is a physical freak of nature, who plays above his size, but he's also incredibly fast. It's like Steve Smith 2.0 out there. I think they're going to tan him up for something fucking special, man. This could be the next coming of what Jay Cutler and Brandon Marshall was like, but instead we're going to actually have fucking competent quarterback play, not settling for mediocre shit like Jay Cutler used to always do.
He was an interception king back then.
Telling me the truth. Bring back my Vietnam flashbacks, man. It was unbearable, man. It was so unbearable because Brandon Marsh was so good, but Jay Cutler was just constantly holding the team back. I think this is going to be an interesting year, though. They're going to run. They run a lot of heavy RPO, a lot of play action with bootleg thrown in there out of this West Coast system. But I think there's going to be they're not going to be quite as run heavy as they were last year. If Justin Fields though takes that next level leap, And for people out there wondering if he's going to take that next level leap, and you look at the stats, the advanced statistics, where you see his downfield completion, his completion for versus man coverage, which is really bad. I think it was like 32nd in the league. But zone, thrown against zone, he was top 12 in the league. All of those metrics were very comparative to what Jalen Hurts was like in 2021 compared to what he was like in 2022. Okay. That next level leap is very possible. If Jalen Hurts can do it, I love Jalen Hurts, and he's already, I would say he's better than what Justin Fields is right now. Okay. Right now he is. But if Jalen Hurts can do that, who I love, but is nowhere near the athlete that Justin Fields is from a natural athleticism standpoint, because Justin Fields is an absolute athletic freak of nature, it's entirely plausible that Fields can take this next level leap. Okay. I mean, even in college, going back to what he was like going up against Clemson, in that national championship semifinal game, that may be one of the greatest tapes I have ever seen from a quarterback in college football history. Just from his downfield passing, all while suffering from, I think he had a broken rib or a bruised rib injury during that game. Some of the greatest tape you will ever see from a college quarterback. And if you're tough as shit going up against a damn good team like Clemson, like they were back then, like the dynasty they fucking were back then, I absolutely believe you can take this next level leap. 1,000%. So I'm very high on Justin Fields. I'm just not quite high on him to where I'm going to say he's going to be an MVP candidate this year, but he will still have a Pro Bowl caliber season this year. Bears win. I'm going to go, you know what? Fuck it. I'll say 10 games. And I swear, it's like every year, though, I always predict the record, and I'm always like overshooting it. Always overshooting it, So I'm like, they're gonna watch them win fucking 7 games this year. I just know it, Let's get to our number one. Who's your number one, Nick?
The last team remaining, the Lions.
Yeah. No, really? Oh, it looks like we lost Nick just now.
I'm back.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
All right. Well, what did I tell you? So let me talk to you. So the Lions will finish division winners, and I've already said this, but to reiterate my point of the Lions winning the division, first of all, this division is wide open. The first time in probably since Aaron Rodgers was a rookie, this division has really opened up for another team to really be the top of the division. So there's that. I really like how Detroit ended the year under Dan Campbell, because the Lions, if it wasn't for the debacle they had at the end of the season and not beating Green Bay, they would have been in the playoffs.
This is a good person.
They were.
She said she's not going to make fun of me when my Bears lose. I wish these two would get the fucking gist of that.
We'll do it for her. Duh.
Exactly. We don't need that many people piling on. We only need
two.
Just
be bullying.
So now it's going to be double the punishment. I see. That's great.
They'll just be bullying.
No, we already did it for more than 2 people last year. So we don't need to really up it this year.
Nope.
Like I said, worst therapist in the world. Continue on, Nick.
So like I said, I liked how Detroit ended the season. They finished 5-1 after, again, just a bad start to the season, so to speak. But offensively, this team really came around. The Lions were 6th in expected points per drive, basically. So they were 6th overall when it came to points expected to be scored on their drives. Which is a big trend because they end up finishing like top 8 in offense overall. Like I said, if it wasn't for that debacle last year, late last game against Green Bay, ironically, they would have been in the playoffs. And they deserved to have been. But due to all the crazy things in the NFC, they didn't make it there. But this year will be different. So it all started with the draft. I was saying I love Detroit's draft. People were like, you're crazy.
Me too.
And I'm like, well, here's the thing. Like I said before, I think the NFL is starting to take a turn into making the drafts more about, measurables versus like certain based on stats and stuff and schools and stuff like that. Because you got a guy, Jahmyr Gibbs, who obviously played in the SEC program. And was really never the so-called studish star running back, but he really is going to be a guy that's going to be on the type of running back you want right now, catching passes all over the field, maybe the new Austin Eckler. So I'll squeeze that in. So, Jahmyr Gibbs could probably be definitely Austin Eckler by the time his career is up. Who knows? Maybe he could be as great, But
maybe Nick can adopt him, like maybe.
Won't be that bad.
No, I mean, for what it's worth, with Jahmyr Gibbs, he did only play at Alabama for 1 year.
I know.
Why do I feel like you're just like every time you're watching the Chargers, you're watching Austin Eckler play? I just like you're just yelling at your TV. That's my boy! Every time he scores, every time, because that's your boy. That is your boy. Let's face it. I mean, we're preaching the truth. That's your boy.
Hey, you know what? In a sense, it is. In a sense, he is. Because you don't believe in him, so it
makes Nick believe in him even more.
You're the asshole that doesn't believe in him, so it's okay. We need people like you. It's all good. Watch Austin Eckler tear it up again this season. Anyhow, we're getting off topic.
Nick is a Eckler stan.
Is what it is. Ask Craig too. You weren't here, George, but that was kind of funny.
Yeah, with Evan. Yeah, that's great. I need more enemies in my life right now.
Oh Jesus!
You're apparently a guy that causes a lot of trouble on the wrong side of it. See, I cause good trouble. You cause bad trouble.
All right, continue on though.
All right, so defensively, I think Detroit's going to be a better unit. I mean, you throw some dollars at some certain guys like C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You brought in Daniel Mosley. You drafted the Brian Branch kid out of
Alabama.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Too many red teams in college.
Yeah.
Georgia, Bama. Anyway.
You named two.
I know. Shut up. I could have went on, damn it.
I know.
I need to go on.
I mean, if you really want to, you can. Nebraska, Wisconsin, A&M, Arkansas.
So you like this defense, though, huh?
Yeah, I think defensively, they'll be a better unit. But offensively, obviously, if they keep the trend of that with Jared Goff, he had career numbers. He threw for 29 touchdowns. I think Jared Goff is one of those guys that he's not going to be – he's like in the same category as Kirk Cousins, where it's like he's just going to be able to find ways to get the ball out of his hands and deliver to certain receivers. You got Sam Laporta, who you drafted as well. And I think just this unit in general is a bit more complete than it was last year. And obviously, with everything that you finished out really well last year, I think the offensive unit is going to be a top 8 in the league again. I think defensively they'll be better. I think overall the division has gotten a little bit more weaker. I just ultimately think this is the Lions' time to finally win a division and make the playoffs. I think all the stars are aligning, and that's how I see it.
Okay. All right. I dig that. What about you, George?
Yeah, I've also got the Lions at number 1. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love their roster. I love what they were able to do last year, and then just add to it. It is kind of a shame for the early part of the season without Jameson Williams. Sucks, but I think they've got the personnel to kind of step in between Josh Reynolds and Khalif Raymond. They traded for Jets castaway Denzel Mims, who honestly I still somewhat believe in him. I mean, he's got the frame for it. It looks like he's going into this with a chip on his shoulder. So if he can kind of come out and get some reps, I think he'll be good for the Lions. And this defense is really nice. I mean, I love some of their pieces on defense. The fact that, I mean, we're looking at this secondary and CJ isn't even listed as one of their starters. I mean, he probably will as a third one. I love Brian Branch, Owuzurike on their D-line. I still love. You've just got a lot of depth. I mean, shoot, they still have Romeo Okwara backing up. I saw it. I wasn't going to address it. I was just going to leave it be.
How dare you? I hope you're happy with yourself.
Yo,
I saw the bottom. I
know.
Say, oh, David, what about the bottom here, David?
I wasn't going to address it, but you did it for me. That's fine. Good for you, buddy. Glad you're getting that there. Just overall, I think this is a very well-rounded team that I think surprised some people last year, and I think that they just got better, and that's really what they needed to do this offseason. Is going into last season, they were a surprise team. Going into this season, we know what they are capable of, and now it's just their job to improve on that.
Amen. No, absolutely. I think the Lions might have absolutely run away with this division, like unequivocally run away. Like no one would even catch them within a step had it not been for Jameson Williams going down with the suspension due to the gambling scandal. Now, I think they're still going to win this division. I think they're going to win 12, maybe 13 games if this defense can play well. But 12,
13 games. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. They could win it if this defense plays well.
We knew you loved the Lions secretly.
The second favorite team.
I feel like there's just
the Vikings is third.
TBQ football, the show of conspiracies. That's what we need to rename it to. Okay,
no, you've been on record to definitely be in love with
absolute conspiracy. Okay,
no conspiracy.
Come at me with proof. Okay,
dude, I can go back to some of the recordings from the summer earlier.
I never said I like the Lions just because I said
you talk about these teams a lot.
Do I have any fangirl? Do I watch them every week? Do I say, come on, Jared Goff, win for Old Navy? No, I never do any of that, okay? That means I'm not.
You secretly have a Lions jersey. Okay. Come on.
Oh, my God.
Just waiting to pick it out.
I'm praying to God that my dad secretly does not have a jersey of the Lions because everyone's going to assume it's mine because he grew up in Detroit. He actually grew up in Detroit. No. He was born in Chicago.
You're just laying it out for us.
Courtney is just on a rocket tonight.
She's trying to get David out here canceled. Goodness.
Oh no, that'll be for other reasons. That'll be for the cult I'm trying. Okay.
That'll
be for you trying to start a cult.
Don't worry, Courtney. I'll be your host soon enough.
I love this team though, still nonetheless, even with Jameson Williams out for a stretch of time. Loved their draft, getting guys like Jack Campbell, and Jahmyr Gibbs. I'll try to clip it. Loved them getting Brian Branch. I was so high, and Brian Branch was my number one DB in this entire draft. I loved me some Brian Branch because I think he can do so much.
What about Christian Gonzalez?
Oh my God, don't. It's just he's like, oh my God. Did my brother Michael put you up to this? Is my brother Michael just wink with one eye if my brother is paying you to fucking try to
How else would you wink?
I am your brother.
You said wink with one eye. How else would you wink?
No, but like I meant blink with one eye. Excuse me.
That's called a wink.
No, but you can blink with two eyes. You can blink with two eyes. Do you see what I'm saying?
Blinking is only with both eyes.
Oh Lord.
No, you can blink with just one eye. Well, I guess that's. Oh yeah, I guess that is true. I guess. I don't think that's that like that. That's that crazy to say because like. Someone Google this. Hey, someone in the chat Google this shit. Okay. What does wink mean and what does blink mean? Okay.
I will Google it right now for you, buddy, and I will report back.
Wow. Just wow.
Because we want to make a huge deal of this.
I lost a couple brain cells.
Love their draft though. Loved it. Absolutely loved
Found it.
They have a special. Okay, what is it? What is the definition? Let's hurry up though.
In this case, a wink is a facial expression made up of closing one eye and keeping the other eye open. Blinking is involuntary movement of both eyelids.
Hey, fuck you, Webster Dictionary. Not my dictionary. Hashtag not my dictionary.
Wow.
Oof.
I'm kidding.
I'll let you simmer on that one, buddy.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I love the pass rushing duo of Aiden Hutchinson and James Houston the fourth. I love it, man. I think this duo could light up the fucking league. James Houston the fourth last year, through 7 games, had 8 sacks, just being a constant force. Not starting, I think only 2 of them, of the 7 games he played. He was a sensational guy last year. Absolutely, unbelievably sensational. 12 tackles, 11 quarterback hits, only 2 games he started. This guy's going to be an absolute force. He had an elite PFF grade whenever he was playing. Tandeming up with Aiden Hutchinson, who had 9.5 sacks, 3 INTs as a defensive lineman. This is like Julius Peppers 2.0 out here. It's unbelievable what I'm seeing. Shout out to Julius Peppers. Thank you for your time with Chicago and with the Carolina Panthers. You were awesome, man. I also just want to say,
he's awesome.
He looks like he seems like the chillest dude. He's so cool. Love you, Julius Peppers, man. Come on the show, damn it. Loved getting loved the Lions getting Cam Sutton and CJ Gardner-Johnson, who had a career as a ball hawk. I think that could be really good, really good. They listed him actually as the nickelback, which is interesting because he played safety last year. And I thought maybe Cam Sutton, who traditionally plays as the nickelback, was going to be going there, but he has moved to the nickelback position. He's moved to the regular. I believe he's on the right side at the right cornerback position. He's listed at the right cornerback position. Got to get Mosley back ASAP. He's on the PUP list right now, nursing that injury he sustained last year. Their secondary could be solid, but it can't probably afford an injury if it wants to hold shit down, because a lot of the identity is going to be on the offense and that pass rushing tandem, and maybe a little bit of Jack Campbell. I love Jack Campbell, who is a tackle machine at Iowa, but I just wonder, is he going to be able to translate his college skill set into the NFL immediately right from the get-go? That is a big question mark that I wonder, okay? But I do have high hopes for him, and I love the selection, and I didn't think it was a reach at all. In fact, I thought he probably should have been taken maybe even earlier, I love me some Jack Campbell. I think it's a great fix, a great mesh with this defense. Goff, I'm so high on going into this season. I think he's going to have a lot on his platter to mess around with. It's going to be awesome, man. A lot to choose from on his platter, from an offensive standpoint. Last year, finishing out the year, 15 touchdowns, 0 INTs in the last 9 games. Spectacular ending to the season. And of course, they play that gap blocking scheme, with a West Coast spread. Play a lot with mesh, digs, scissors, all sorts of different types of concepts that they like to throw into that offense. That's really going to open up opportunities for guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown. When J-Mo gets back, for one thing, I think even the backfield in David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are going to have a lot of fun from a receiving standpoint because of what this offense does and what the offensive line does, because that offensive line is one of the best in the league, especially with Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow. There's a lot to love about that offensive line. The Lions could win 13 games this year, okay? I think it's going to come down to the defensive play, though. I think that's really where they could maybe 14. I don't think any more than 14 though. But the defense is really incumbent upon how high they can climb up the standings when it's all said and done for the season. But their schedule, I don't think it's too difficult. They begin a little bit rough at Kansas City, playing against Seattle, but you got Atlanta after that. You're at Green Bay. That's not too bad. Vegas before the bye week. That's fucking cupcake shit right there. Minnesota, yeah, Dallas is really the only tough one. They got a cupcake schedule. Honestly, they could easily win 12 games this year. That's the expectation. That should be the expectation. That should be the standard, honestly, they're held to. So I'm very, very high on the Lions, just as these other two gentlemen are. Let's get to our next question. Talking a little bit about previewing the NFC North. Yeah, I'm going to try to.
No, I mean, don't we have to move channels?
Oh, not yet. No, we're going to move in 20 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, I thought we had an hour and a half, not 2 hours. My bad.
No, we have 2 hours. Yeah.
Apologies.
Hours, yeah.
That's on me. Sorry.
It's all good.
Trying to keep an eye out for you. Don't worry.
Appreciate it, bro. Continuing on previewing the NFC North. What is more likely to happen? We like to play a little bit of this game. Played the last few weeks. Justin Fields becomes the first quarterback in Bears history with 30 touchdowns thrown and 4,000 yards thrown this season. It's just going to be so sad in such a beautiful way. It's so sad that that's the truth of the Bears, because it really is the truth. We've never had that in we've existed for 100 plus years, but it'll be so happy when he finally does it, because I think there's a chance he does this year. Or the Vikings repeat as division winners. What do you guys choose? Which is more likely to choose between these two? Not which one is going to happen for sure. Which between these two is more likely to happen? If you had to choose only between these two, and you can't choose, pleading the fifth or death or whatever, So let's start with you, Nick.
I still can't believe that hasn't happened in your history.
It's really sad. Eric Kramer.
30 touchdowns in the NFL today is like nothing almost now. So it's very common now.
It's so pathetic, because we had a quarterback
passing is pretty much on that as well.
We had a quarterback who threw for 29 one year, Eric Kramer, in 1995, and we've not even gotten to it.
Jay Cutler wasn't close?
Jay Cutler got 28 one year.
Yeah.
28 1 year.
Brandon Marshall.
It was, but Brandon Marshall surprisingly was injured for like half that year. But yeah.
So crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't like this question in general, because it's like it definitely is like more. Obviously you love it, but this question to me is kind of, if I just had to pick one, it'll be Justin Fields, because I'm just going to bank on the talent. I just don't, but it's really by default, because I just don't think the Vikings are going to absolutely be division winners again. Just the way they finished, the way they played last year, it's just, there's you really can't repeat that again.
Okay, what about this? What if I changed to wild card and you answered that? Would you still say the same thing?
I would probably then take the Vikings, only because they'll have more of a chance.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think David's going to like my answer.
But I do like Justin Fields enough to say that he can throw 30 passes through the air. It just may not be this year. The 4,000 yards through the air, I could probably see that. I just think because Justin Fields is just a pure runner at times with the ball, and I think he'll still be that for the next year or two before he actually settles down into being a throwing QB. But I think it will definitely happen. I'm just not sure it'll be this season. But to answer the question, I think it is more likely to happen this season. But ultimately, because the Vikings, I don't see them repeating as division winners.
Touchdowns and yards passing. What do you see from Justin Fields this year? Touchdowns and yards.
It's a good question. I love how I've implemented this question for you guys. It's awesome. But I would say Justin Fields' development, man, he needs to have career highs all across the board this year.
For sure, yeah.
I would say if he's going to improve on that, he's going to be close. So I'll probably say 3,700 through the air.
Okay.
And probably he had 17 touchdowns last year. I'd say he'll have 24, 25 through the air.
Okay.
Total, he'll have he'll probably have at least 5 or 6 on the ground. So total wise, he'll have total touchdowns
Yeah.
He'll have over 30 total touchdowns.
Oh,
The passing touchdowns will probably be more like 24, 25. If I'm keeping tampering expectations, I think getting DJ Moore is a great start. I just don't know if he has those other weapons that are going to constantly elevate for him. So that's the big question. I think if Fields can elevate everyone around him, and this is like the year of Lamar Jackson, so to speak, when he won the MVP, we got something here. It's possible?
Oh, yeah.
Is it possible? I think it's possible. Does it happen? We'll see. But I'm tempering expectations because it's the Bears.
So
it's. I could say something about your Jets, but I'm
you
be
can't.
A bigger man.
You
I
can't.
can. I absolutely can.
Yeah.
You guys just beat us last year. Okay, congratulations.
Yeah,
you beat us shithole team.
We smacked that ass.
And you still missed the playoffs. It's so beautiful.
That's all right.
yeah,
but that was your
have a QB
first
that
win.
owns your franchise.
We beat you guys. What? Zach Wilson? Was it Zach Wilson or was it Joe Flacco?
You realize you lost the previous 5 games up against us, right?
I think so.
Do you know that you not only you're not only losing the series against us whenever you guys go up against us, but you lost each of the last 5 games previous to this last year's matchup.
Hey, at least we've been in a few conference finals in the last couple of decades.
We have just no. We have just as many.
You guys won a Super Bowl. Oh yeah, you guys.
We went to a Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
we went to a Super Bowl. Yeah, we have.
Yeah, you guys choked that game, right?
In the since 2000, since the year 2000, we have just as many playoff appearances and more advancements in the playoffs than you guys.
How many conference championship appearances you guys got?
2 with a Super Bowl appearance. You guys have 2 with 0 Super Bowl appearances because you guys can't figure out a quarterback to save your life.
Right. That's okay.
Just like us, though. So I can't really stand on too much of high horse.
It's fine.
That.
I'll let
fine.
you. I
love to lose. I'm a glutton for punishment. No,
I gotta let you win one every once in a while. I can't win every one. Come on now. That's just not realistic.
George, would you like to chime in?
Dominate you most times.
What?
Chime in on this shit fest of an argument.
No, because like both teams have been hot doo-doo garbage since like 1996. So
finally we have some realism. There we go.
Oh, I was about to say I can't really I can't make fun of either team because they've both been bad. Like it'd be different if one was good at like one point.
We're trying to break a playoff drought that's the longest now in the NFL.
Right.
So
no, not just the NFL.
I know you're still in
the longest in all 4 American sports right now.
Really? 12
because
years?
The Kings, excuse me, because the Kings made the playoffs this last year. And then the Sabres made it last year, I want to say.
That's really interesting. Wow.
Beautiful. So beautiful.
It's okay.
It.
Well, time to prove people wrong again this year.
If you say so. What have you got for us?
I know so.
This
Aaron Rodgers, your boy.
Go ahead,
that's
George.
His daddy. That's his daddy.
Okay,
he's not gonna like my answer here.
Listen, I'm getting the tramp stamp removed. He's no longer owning this ass anymore. So like,
he still does.
Whoa.
So yeah.
Whoa,
well, no, I you should be applauding me right now. If you're my friends, you would applaud me right now.
No, I'm more confused because I didn't know you had a tramp stamp to begin with.
I know, and now we're making progress. I'm getting it removed.
All right, if that's what you want to do, well, okay.
I didn't know you had.
So for this one, like this is again, like you said, which is more likely to happen?
Yes, between the two, you
this
can't choose depth.
I can't. I mean, I always will, but because I can't, and this is going to sound probably a little blasphemous, I'm going with the Vikings. And here's why. Because I do think Justin Fields is going to improve, but I don't think he's going to get 1,800 yards and 13 touchdowns better. I don't think this is going to be like a Josh Allen, meteoric rise, just because I don't necessarily know that Fields has the personnel around him in his coaching staff or on his offense. Like, I love DJ Moore. He doesn't have a Stephon Diggs. He doesn't have like a true alpha receiver. He doesn't have an offensive-minded head coach who can really kind of coach him up like Brian Daboll did. So do I think Justin Fields is going to improve? Absolutely. He's going to be, when you said 30 total touchdowns and we're talking 25 tuds in the air and at least 5, if not more, on the ground, I'm like, yes, give me that all day.
All right, cool.
That said, him getting 30 through the air and 4,000 yards this season compared to the Vikings repeating, which, I mean, sure, lightning doesn't always strike twice, but there are certain aspects of the Vikings where I expect them to be better than they were last year. Obviously not their defense. But like they do have the possibility of winning shootouts just based on the offensive personnel that they have. So while the Vikings, you're like, is that likely? Is that probably going to happen? Probably not. There's the track record there. Whereas with a defensive head coach, yes, he's got some better personnel around him when it comes to on the field. He doesn't have a true alpha. DJ Moore is awesome. Yeah. He's not a Stephon Diggs. You know, he doesn't, you know.
You don't think he's going to put up that like 1,300 yards potentially? Like, what do you hit? What is his yards total that you could expect?
DJ Moore?
Yeah.
I mean, I like 1,300 would be like an excellent year. Like we're talking like that would be his like peak. Absolute peak. I would probably put it closer to like your like 11, maybe like even 12 is kind of pushing it. And even if you tack that on, just straight tack that on to Fields' numbers from last year, that only puts him at 3,300.
No, I know, but you got Mooney coming back who wasn't healthy last year. Komet expected to take, Claypool may actually catch something next year. Something.
To say, let's hope for Claypool and Komet to really kind of
more than a fucking loaf of bread or some shit. I mean, like honestly.
Well, that's the thing. Something. Like if all of those little things would have to go right on top of Fields improving. It wouldn't necessarily just be okay. If Fields is better, if Fields alone is better, we also have to be like, well, shoot, Claypool has to actually catch a football, which that's kind of his whole job. He should do that, but besides the point. Mooney has to stay healthy. DJ Moore has to come in and produce. Well, we kind of hope Komet gets better too. He'll probably throw a little bit out of the backfield, and we have to hope that he doesn't run the ball as much because 160 carries for 1,100 yards on the ground, first off, exceptional. I love Justin Fields' like mobility. Yeah. It's just so good. That said, that takes away from him throwing the ball. Just like Nick said. I mean, all of these separate individual things that would be completely a stark difference from last season would have to happen versus the Vikings would have to do exactly what they did last year with similar personnel.
There's a lot. Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Sorry, I think we continue on what you're saying. Yeah.
I absolutely agree. I think Justin Fields is going to be much improved next year. I think he's going to be a lot better just with that extra time under his belt, but I don't know if it equates to a 30 touchdown passing touchdown because you said passing. If it's all purpose, I'm all for it. Passing, that's where I'm a little bit more shaky. And 4,000 yards in the air, I mean, that's usually where we put a lot of our upper echelon quarterbacks pretty
well, and the thing about all-purpose, I like that you mentioned all-purpose. Is like, fuck. What if we returned a touchdown too? Because that would technically count. Because like scrimmage touchdowns, or no, I'm not saying I would put him out there. I would never do that.
No.
I was just thinking,
Jesus Christ. I was going to say, like, at that point, it'd be like Matt Eberflus, put down the crack pipe. You're worse off than Trent Baalke right now.
No, that's just what I think of when I think. That's just what I think of. I know, right? Seriously, yeah. You'd have another drug kingpin in the NFL. At that point.
God.
Jesus.
But he's so special. I mean, he's such a special athlete.
Yeah, his athleticism is off the charts.
It really is. It's incredible. I'm going to go with my boy, Justin Fields. Getting the 30 passing touchdowns.
It's all ploy talking about the Bears longer.
Put down the pipe.
I'm sorry, did I say that? What? I'm sorry, what?
Folks, I have a manifesto I'd like to share. Okay.
God, you mean a diary?
No, it's...
Oof, manifesto is a big word.
All about my love for the Chicago Bears and why they're the greatest team known to mankind. No, but it's 30 passing touchdowns, 4,000 yards thrown, I think is possible. I don't think it's likely. Here's what it's hinged upon. If Mooney stays healthy and Cole Kmet takes that next level leap, I'll go with 30 passing touchdowns and 4,000 yards. I will do it. 100%. I'll do it. Okay. I don't see the Vikings repeating as division winners. By the way, I had one question asked to you, George, too. You talked about the Vikings being repeat division winners. You think they're going to take a next level leap, though, losing Dalvin Cook? This is the first time Kirk Cousins does not play with Dalvin Cook. This is the first time he's going to have a questionable run game since his Washington days. So, I mean, are you really comfortable going with Alex Madison to kind of plug in, the leaks that could potentially happen from this offense because of
what's up, dude?
I'm sorry, man.
What's up?
I'm sorry.
For what?
What are you talking about?
The Yankees won 7-2.
Cool. You took 1 out of 2 in home, and the other 2 games were very deflating.
I know.
I watched them faces.
I had to get at least 1.
Fair enough. I will say this when it comes to Alex Madison. I like their room. I like the room in general. I like who they drafted. I like Ty Chandler and it's Ngwanwu, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Is that their third string? Yeah.
Kenny and Nwangwu, yeah.
And yes. McBride's in the mix too.
That's the guy. I loved Dwayne McBride. I loved him in college. That dude, he's just a bowling ball, man.
From
he's
UAB,
so
right?
UAB.
Yeah, the Blazers, baby. I loved watching him in college. He's just so much fun to watch run with the football. So I think in the case that Madison isn't the guy, I would say they've got some pretty serviceable, and I would think that, or I would hope that. Here's my thing with running backs too. To me, running backs are one of the truly most draft position agnostic positions out there. You can find more than serviceable running backs at almost any point in the draft. I think McBride's going to be really solid. He was a 7th round pick for whatever reason. I mean, probably because he played for UAB and they don't play in a great division.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing's going to happen with Gore Jr. With Frank Gore Jr. Oh, cool. He's going to end up being a 6th, 7th round pick because he played at Southern Miss. Oh, he takes on a D1 team and then runs for 250 yards. He just goes crazy. So awesome. I swear if he has the same career as his dad where he just plays for 90 years and is just so consistent, he's just a top 5 yards.
Oh my God! Imagine if Frank Gore and Frank Gore Jr. were 1 and 3rd and 4th. Yeah. Well, I think Gore finished 3rd all time in rushing. Or was it 4th?
It's something like that. Yeah. That would be bananas, but it'd be so fun. He was 3rd. He was 3rd. Frank Gore was 3rd. Yeah. So I agree. The loss of Dalvin Cook is pretty huge. That's not the easiest gap to fill up. I like what Madison showed at, throughout the season last year, and I really like them bringing in a guy like Dwayne McBride to. I mean, sure, he's not listed as their 2nd string guy, but I think talent-wise, he probably should be.
I like Ty Chandler coming out of North Carolina, but I don't know about this run game kind of stepping up and filling the void for Dalvin Cook. I'm not so sure about it. But I'd pick Justin Fields, and I know, and this is in light of the fact that he struggled to throw downfield last year. His money throws were just 12 last year, which ranked 29th in the league. He was 12th in the league in terms of most interceptable passes. He was 22nd in deep ball completion, pressure completion 24th, play action 33rd, and clean pocket 27th. It wasn't great. I didn't hear what you said. I have no idea what you said.
Put down the pipe.
Oh, hey, I'm preaching the truth right now. Don't be hating on the chosen one, okay? The chosen one. Because he is. He's the chosen one.
If anything, the real chosen one is playing in Miami right now, and he's just keeps scoring goals.
Oh, Lionel Messi?
Yeah, he scored again tonight because, of course, he did.
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised he hasn't already, scored. I would be shocked. Listen, if he's averaging all the team's fucking goals, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
he's averaging over a goal a game, and he's only played 3 games. I think he scored 5 goals already.
Dude, and oh my God, and he's living down in Miami.
He's just cooking people, man.
Yeah,
he's
probably just throwing banger parties every fucking night too. On top of that, and scoring goals. He could come in 72 hours without sleep, hungover as shit. And he'd probably still score 5 goals in that game,
Yeah, he scored within 7 minutes tonight. So just
he's incredible.
Do that what you will. He's the GOAT.
He's going to take a next. Justin Fields, though, getting back to him, going to take a similar leap to Jalen Hurts, though. Like I said, all of those similar metrics to what Justin Fields had last year, or what Jalen Hurts kind of had in 2021 before he became an MVP candidate. And furthermore, my MVP favorite this upcoming season. Jalen Hurts is my favorite to win MVP this year.
You bet on him yet?
Huh?
Did you bet on him yet?
No, I'm too much of a pussy.
I know.
That's mean. That's just mean.
You set it up, and I slammed it down.
I didn't
Hold
invite you. It was supposed to end there, asshole.
Jesus Christ.
That was too easy. That was easier.
I don't know if it's
Just have to
rushing.
throw
He's not
it
going to rush.
down.
He's not going to rush for 1,000 yards this year, though. I think they're going to dial it down if he excels as a passer this year. I really do believe so. But yeah, I got Justin Fields. That's who I'm going with. Folks, we're going to hop off this stream right now, and we're going to head over to our TBQ Sports to finish up the second half of the show. Hope you guys enjoyed listening in. In the meantime, thank you to everyone who hopped in the chat. But if you want to catch the second half of the show, you're going to have to hop over to TBQ Sports, where we let the next show on Bloodline Entertainment Network hop on very soon. So we'll see you guys over at TBQ Sports.